Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Final Fantasy IX Remake, as that is becoming more and more real, and we have some more updates about the game. We're going to be talking about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, as we got another developer comment. And lastly, we're going to be talking about Spider-Man 2 and why the release date has not been revealed just yet to us. Now, before we jump into that, if you could show your support by hitting that like button, share the video if you do find it informative, and subscribe if you're new. Now, let's talk about Final Fantasy IX. So the remake has gotten another update from a reputable leaker. I'm a Hero 2 over on the Reset Era forums. They said the remake will have traditional gameplay, so it is likely to feature an evolution of the active time battle system featured in the original. Additionally, they have revealed that while the remake won't be on the same level as the Final Fantasy VII remake, it won't be a simple remaster. So it seems as though they are going for a very much real remake, maybe a one-to-one type of deal with some modernizations in the gameplay. And obviously, you know, the graphics looking a lot better than they did on the PlayStation 1. So that is something that I personally do really like. That is something that I want from Final Fantasy IX. And I actually think that its art style being what it is would actually translate a lot better to not so realistic graphics in the way that Final Fantasy VII Remake did. Final Fantasy VII's story was very different. Final Fantasy VII's world was very different. It seems as though a more realistic approach made more sense there, whereas with Final Fantasy IX, it makes more sense to do something maybe a little less realistic, as we've seen with Project Memoria, which I think looks excellent, and we're supposed to get more news about tomorrow. So I think that that's very positive. I really like what they're doing with Final Fantasy IX Remake, if this is all to be believed. And it actually makes sense, because that means that we're probably not getting the studio that we think we are working on this project. I don't think it's going to be the remake team. I don't think it's going to be the FF16 team. I don't know who is working on this project, but clearly the resources required are not going to be on that level, since it's going to very much stay true to what Final Fantasy IX is, if this is to be believed. Now, to further kind of support this rumor, Jeff Grubb has recently stated that the game is real and it's coming, and Square Enix has yet to announce it. So we can expect that maybe soon they will announce it once it's ready. But given that I Am a Hero 2 has already said that it's about 2 years away, maybe we don't see it just yet, and it's something that we see later this year or in 2024. Regardless, this is a game I'm really excited for, something I'm really looking forward to. So I hope that whenever it does release, that it's everything we want it to be. And I am actually glad it's not going to go too deep into realism and kind of jump into a type of development that takes a very long time. So maybe that will make it even more exciting, being that we could get it shortly after Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which would be pretty awesome, given that we would have got 16 Rebirth, then 9 Remake, and then we go to part 3 of 7. I would hope so. Now let's move on to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, as we got another developer comment. As we expected, we are going to get one every day, probably until Summer Game Fest, and then get that trailer that we are hoping for. In this developer comment, the question was, has the battle system changed from Final Fantasy VII Remake? And the answer is, in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, new comrades will join you in battle, and you can cooperate with other party members, even in closer ways than before. So this has been kind of misconstrued in a lot of ways, is what I believe. I don't think it's going to be what some people have said, which is pretty much telling you that certain characters that are not in the normal OG version are going to just show up. I think it's more about the way the gameplay is going to work. This is coming from the battle director. So if you remember Integrate, the way they had those team attacks, I think that you're going to get a lot more of those, and ones that are specific to certain characters in the party. Now, that's not to say that we're not going to have any characters that we've never seen before. I think we absolutely will see characters join the party that we haven't had join the party before in the OG, which is totally fine. Obviously, we saw that with Integrate. So I think that's something that will happen. But I think in terms of this hinting towards having specific characters that are being talked about, I don't think that that's necessarily the case. I think it's just talking about the gameplay evolving and having more team attacks and more ways for the, party members to interact together to make attacks. I think that's what this is about more than anything. But I'm sure we'll find out whether that's really the case once we see this trailer, most likely. Now, moving on to our last topic of the video, it is Spider-Man 2 and the release date. Creative director Brian Intihar spoke to the Washington Post about the game and in quotes says, "It's really just making sure that we're really confident that when we announce the date, we're going to hit it. It's really just about that." So that's regards to the release date not being revealed at the showcase. So that's why we have not got that release date revealed to us. It's because they simply don't have a date just yet that they know 100% they're going to hit. They know it's going to be this year. They know it's going to be fall, but they don't know the exact day in the fall. So they don't want to say it until they are 100% sure that that is the case. So that's the one thing that I think sticks out to me a lot about this. And some people may be taking this the wrong way as in, oh my God, they're not even 100% sure they're going to be dropping this game this year, but I don't think that's the case. I think it's just simply they don't know the exact day in the fall, but they know they're going to hit the fall, right? Because when you say fall, it's such a broad and wide season. It's not a short period of time. So that gives them a lot of time to nail down a specific release day. And you want them to be confident in that, as you don't want them to talk about a day and give you a day and then for them to push it back a week or 2 weeks or a month or whatever it is, right? So I think that's a great thing that they are not just saying it without being 100% sure. But rest assured, we are going to get it in the fall. I would be shocked if it got pushed out of the fall, as they need a big game this fall. They need a big game. They cannot go without a big game this fall, and everyone is expecting Spider-Man, so they are going to want to deliver on that. Otherwise, they're going to have a lot of upset fans, especially after the reception of the showcase. But that is all I have for you guys in today's video. Please let me know what you guys think of this Final Fantasy IX Remake rumor and this Final Fantasy VII Rebirth statement that has been made over on Twitter, and obviously Spider-Man 2's release date not being told to us just yet. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. If you didn't enjoy it, hit that dislike button. Share the video if you found it informative. Subscribe if you're new. You can follow me on Twitter. Link will be in the description. I thank you all for watching. Take care.